can choose to do with my property whatever I so desire.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 misconceptions about famous movie scenes.
No. It's not true.
Number 10. R. Lee Ermey's creative insults. Full Metal Jacket. This is more of a series of scenes, but we're still lumping them under the larger Sergeant Hartman umbrella. It's said that R. Lee Ermey improvised most, if not all, of his creative insults for the film, having served as a real drill instructor in the 1960s. The latter fact is true, but the former? Kinda.
Did your parents have any children that lived?
Sir, yes, sir.
I bet they regret that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
Stanley Kubrick realized how hilarious Ermey was, and he worked with him to craft memorable lines for the film. Ermey would make up funny lines, and Kubrick would transcribe the best ones into the script. So yes, most of those lines are his own. But no, he didn't make them up on the spot.
I want that head so sanitary and squared away that the Virgin Mary herself would be proud to go in there and take a dump.
Number 9. I didn't know you could read. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Why are you wearing glasses?
Reading.
Reading? I didn't know you could read.
This fun tidbit is the Harry Potter equivalent of Viggo Mortensen breaking his toe. But unlike that one, this fact isn't true. Well, not entirely. The story goes that Tom Felton forgot his line and improvised this one. Once again, there's a mixture of truth and falsehood here.
Mind your attitude, Malfoy.
Yes, the line was technically improvised, but not by Felton. Felton admits this in his memoir Beyond the Wand, claiming that director Chris Columbus asked him to improvise a line in response to Harry's lie. Felton did 3 takes before Columbus whispered in his ear and suggested what is now in the film. All the credit went to Felton, but it was nice of him to come clean and reveal the truth.
You know, I'm surprised that the Daily Prophet hasn't done a report on all these attacks. I suppose Dumbledore's trying to hush it all up.
Number 8. The Indianapolis Speech. Jaws.
So hopefully that's the USS Indianapolis.
You run the Indianapolis?
By this point, everyone knows that we're gonna need a bigger boat is actually you're gonna need a bigger boat. But one pesky legend still persists, and that's that Robert Shaw was drunk for his famous Indianapolis speech.
Sometimes that sharky looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes.
This legend came about thanks to some genius acting on Shaw's part and a misinterpretation of some behind-the-scenes lore. It's true that Shaw performed the scene drunk, or at least tried to. According to Steven Spielberg, he stumbled through a few lines, but it was messy and Spielberg quickly put an end to filming. They shot it again the next day when Shaw was sober. And this is the flawless version you see in the film.
Oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and despite all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces.
Number 7. Jack could have fit on the raft. Titanic.
Here, get on it. Get on top.
It's been discussed again and again. Jack could have fit on the wood and lived into old age with Rose. Most people forget that Jack does attempt to climb on the wood, but it proves unstable and nearly capsizes Rose. And countless people, including the Mythbusters and James Cameron himself, have tested the idea of both floating on the wood, even if he did manage to get up there.
But what if Jack and Rose had tried something different? With our modern understanding of hypothermia, could we save them both?
These tests have found that it would have sunk under their combined weight, dooming them both to freezing water and eventual death. Damn buoyancy! Yes, maybe they could have tied Rose's life jacket under the raft as the Mythbusters did, but come on, there's no way they're thinking of that in the stress of the moment.
I don't know about you, but I intend to write a strongly worded letter to the White Star Line about all this.
Number 6. The sunglasses. Risky business. Quick, think of an image from Risky Business. Chances are you saw Tom Cruise sliding into frame wearing his pink button-up, socks, and sunglasses.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I said listen to them by myself.
Unfortunately, this is one of those classic Mandela effects. Tom Cruise is not wearing sunglasses in the scene. nor has he ever been wearing sunglasses in the scene. He is wearing sunglasses in the famous poster, and in countless parodies of the scene, most characters are wearing them for some reason. Alas, they just keep getting it wrong. It's a classic example of pop culture taking something and warping it into something else in our collective memories.
I wear short shorts.
Number 5. The beer can.
Hey, Malkovich, think fast!
This is an example of a legend being even more famous than the movie itself. Being John Malkovich, while critically acclaimed, isn't a hugely popular movie. But there is one hugely popular rumor, and that's that a drunk extra threw an empty beer can at Malkovich as he was walking down the street. This rumor stems from an old YouTube video, supposedly taken from the director's commentary in which Spike Jonze tells the story.
The scene coming up where the guy throws the can and says, "Hey Malkovich, think fast." That was not in our script at all. We had some extras that had snuck some beer on set, and it got pretty lit, and fortunately it wasn't the driver, just the passenger.
Only this video is fake and there is no director's commentary on the DVD. Malkovich himself dispelled the myth on Reddit, claiming that it was performed by John Cusack's writing partner.
With all due respect, I discovered that portal. I mean, it's my livelihood, do you understand?
Number 4. The table trick. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Of course, if I bumped the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear?
There are some famous bits of trivia regarding this film, including Jim Carrey's intense hatred of the makeup process and the famously improvised table trick. To refresh your memory, Carrey pulls the tablecloth, but everything on top remains on the table. This wasn't supposed to happen, so Carrey rushes back into the frame and scatters everything to the ground. We don't know where this rumor came from, but it's not true. If you look at the script, the joke is described in detail, including the comedic beat before the Grinch runs back into frame. Granted, it says he kicks the table over, whereas Carrey scatters everything, so there was a bit of improv. But the tablecloth trick was absolutely supposed to happen.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt! Sicko!
Number 3. The famous blood rub. Django Unchained.
Hey! Lay your palm flat on that tabletop!
Leo stunned audiences by playing Calvin Candy, the unhinged plantation owner who is in possession of Django's wife Hildy. In what is probably the movie's most famous scene, Calvin cuts his hand on a piece of glass and proceeds to rub his blood all over Hildy's face. And herein comes a very famous bit of movie lore, with many people believing that Leo cut his hand and improvised the blood rub.
Now! What's it gonna be, Doc? Huh? What's it gonna be?
It's true that Leo cut his hand, but not that he smeared his blood on another actor's face. Gross. They actually cut, cleaned him up, and created some fake blood so they could proceed with the scene without breaking a million health and safety laws.
So every moment after that moment in the movie, we shot twice. We would shoot completely bloody with him touching my face with fake blood. And then we had to take everything off and shoot it again totally clean because he just wanted to have the option in the edit of blood or no blood.
Number 2. Luke, I Am Your Father. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
You have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training.
Behold, the most famous Mandela effect in movie history. For whatever reason, be it flawed memory or countless pop culture parodies that get it slightly wrong, many people are of the opinion that Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." Or at least, "No, Luke, I am your father." Only Darth Vader does not, and has never said Luke.
No, I am your father.
The line is simply, "No, I am your father," in reference to Luke claiming that Darth Vader killed his dad. It's funny how these things happen, but happen they do. And when they get in there, it's hard to get them out. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Hospital Explosion. The Dark Knight.
Look what I did to this city with a few drums of gas and a couple of bullets.
It's perhaps the coolest bit of movie trivia ever. You all know the story. The pyrotechnics were not working properly, so Heath Ledger improvised the bit where he raises his arms in befuddlement and smacks on the detonator. We would all love for this to be true, but as it's on this list and in the #1 spot, you know we're about to break your hearts.
You know, I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey.
Alas, every second of this sequence was meticulously planned and choreographed. The so-called failed detonation, the Joker's befuddlement, the smacking of the detonator, all of it was planned, and all of it was endlessly rehearsed. Still a great sequence, though. Did you believe any of these stories? Let us know in the comments below.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.